Title: The Altered Carbon Heist. In the year 2384, humanity had reached the pinnacle of technological advancement. The wealthy elite had the power to live forever, transferring their consciousness to new bodies, known as sleeves, whenever they wished. This technology, called stacks, was the result of alien technology discovered on Mars. It was a time where the rich had become gods, and the poor were left in their wake, struggling to survive. Takeshi Kovacs, a former envoy, a highly trained interstellar warrior, had been incarcerated for centuries. His consciousness was stored in a stack without a sleeve, essentially a state of limbo. In this world, death was not the end. It was merely a temporary inconvenience. One day, Kovacs was abruptly pulled from his digital prison. His stack was placed in a new sleeve, a body that was not his own. The man behind this was Lawrence Bancroft, one of the wealthiest men in the settled worlds. Bancroft offered Kovacs a deal: solve a murder mystery, and earn his freedom. The mystery was not a simple one. Bancroft himself was the victim. He had been killed, and his stack had been destroyed. However, Bancroft had a backup stack, but it was 48 hours old. He had no memory of the 2 days leading up to his death. Kovacs was tasked with finding the murderer. Kovacs began his investigation, delving into the decadent world of the Meths, the ultra-wealthy class that ruled from the skies in their floating mansions. He faced resistance at every turn, from Bancroft's aloof and suspicious wife, Miriam, to the brutal and corrupt police department. As he dug deeper, Kovacs uncovered a web of deceit, betrayal, and corruption that spanned centuries. He discovered that Bancroft's death was not a simple suicide, as it had initially appeared. It was part of a much larger conspiracy, involving the highest echelons of society and the darkest corners of the underworld. Kovacs used his envoy training to navigate this complex web, manipulating and outsmarting his adversaries. He formed alliances with unlikely allies, including a brilliant AI modeled after Edgar Allan Poe and a fierce and loyal former soldier named Riker. In the end, Kovacs unraveled the mystery and exposed the corruption at the heart of society. He revealed that Bancroft's death was part of a scheme to control the supply of stacks, and thus, control immortality itself. The revelation shook the Meths to their core and sparked a revolution amongst the lower classes. Kovacs was granted his freedom, as promised. But he was no longer the same man. He had seen the true face of immortality and the price that humanity had to pay for it. He chose to walk away from it all, disappearing into the shadows, ready to fight another day. The Altered Carbon Heist was a tale of intrigue, betrayal, and the struggle for immortality. It was a story about the lengths that people would go to live forever and the cost of such a desire. It was a stark reminder that even in a world where death was no longer the end, humanity's greed and corruption remained the same.